What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 18. And in this week's episode, we get into some cigar news. We talk about the latest news going on in the cigar world, some of the new cigar releases that will be coming out here in the near future, and we also talk about that Fed interest rate that just got hiked up. We talk about how that's going to affect the cigar industry. Now, look, another part of the conversation we jump into, I just want to know, are you a fan of a cigar brand, or are you a fan of a specific cigar that brand releases? We're going to discuss it. Hey, not going to hold you. Let's go ahead and get into this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We're in episode 18. And in today's episode, we're going to get into some cigar talk today. Now, my name is Jared. My co-host is Denzel.
Yes, yeah.
And today, we are the stars. Now, with that being said, man, I want to go ahead and we're going to jump right into some cigar talk, man. Some cigar news, man, which is going to be a new part of the show, new segment here. I want to touch on some new releases that we got going on, man. CAO.
All right, let's talk about it.
CAO is coming out with 2 new releases. Now, they got the Arcana Firewalker, and that's dropping next week. Now, check this out, D. CAO doing some next level stuff, man.
Okay.
Next level.
Well, tell me about it then.
All right, so this Arcana series, right? They are going to be doing a new way of fermenting cigars. They're going to double ferment it, right? The first one they're going to put it up underneath volcano soil and sit it, the tobacco, under volcano soil. It's going to stay there for 2 months. 2 months.
See, now I've heard of fire cured tobacco, right? But now this is like beyond fire cured. This is lava cured.
Oh yeah, lava cured. Lava cured. Now, after that, then they're going to send it off to subterranean conditions. And then that's going to ferment there. And it's going to supposed to lock it in and give like a sweet aromatic taste. And that's going to, and it's going to stay there for 9 months in that condition. Now, these cigars,
this is interesting.
Go ahead.
So I don't know the full process of how cigars are, I guess, brought together, curated, of sorts. What's the extreme conditions that tobacco is put through before it's, filled into your cigar, cigars are wrapped. So that is something I'm very, very interested in understanding, that process of why, that psychology behind why they're doing what they're doing with these cigars. Like, how is that going to really affect the cigar?
I don't know, man, because I have a limited knowledge also, man. As far as I know, it just hangs in a barn somewhere. I didn't know it was all this other detail to it. So
so this is very, very interesting. Yeah.
Sound like next level to me. Maybe it's not. Somebody who's in the know might look at this and be like, don't you know all cigars sit in volcanic lava for months? I'm not that kind of snob.
I can highly doubt. Yeah, that I can highly doubt.
Right. But hey, man, they say they only got 5,000 boxes coming out that's being produced, and it's $11.99 per cigar if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, man. So
wow, and they're only packaged at $11.99 for limited supply.
That's crazy, right?
Especially for all of that they're trying to do to make sure that the cigar comes out the way they want.
Sounds undervalued.
You would think, yeah, very much so for the effort.
Yeah. I don't know. And like you say, the fact that it seems to be a limited supply, you would think they would heist it up in prices. But I suppose, they haven't done the best job marketing the whole process. So we know that this is worth more than $11.99. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Or maybe it will be marketed properly once it actually hits the cigar with some type of tab or something notifying people.
Yeah.
This is process.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just unsure of the process or how it's going to turn out in the end. Because I don't know if this is their first time trying this process. It's brand new to me. And they're taking a risk, if you ask me. Like, it sounds like a big risk. And instead of tainting their brand by taking this risk, and then hiking the price up. And then now you're looking at CAO, okay, you've jumped out to try to take this risk to build this cigar, this super cigar, I guess, with all of these different features and characteristics. And then now you shoot the price up, you grab it, and now it looks like, okay, you dropped the ball,
Right.
ran the price up on something, and then it didn't even turn out well. Like, I honestly think it's maybe it's a shot in the dark for CAO, a nice stunt, and we've talked about before, how important it is for cigar brands to continue to release and reinvent themselves and push new product out, like Rocky Patel has done, like Drew Estate's been doing a very good job at recently, and maybe CAO sitting back looking at it like, man, we can't fall behind. We can't fall behind. We seeing all these companies continue to grow and flourish. We don't want to be the Alec Bradley of the cigar game right
Right.
now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is their extreme shot at doing something very, very unique, but then uncertain of how it's going to turn out in the end.
That's a very
Because
good point of
that's
view.
a very low price point.
Very low. That's a great point of view that you have, which makes the point. Great point. This isn't a money grab for them, because if it was a money grab, they would come out the bat and say, okay, we don't know how this gonna hit, but we're gonna get all the money we can real quick from the people before they find out it was bad. They pull a Gurkha. Yeah, we're gonna get everything
we
can.
both know that Gurkha will shoot a price up on a cigar.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the reputation that they have for cigars in the cigar world. You have people who love them, but then you have a whole lot of people who hate them.
Right.
But then at the same time, I'll go to the cigar shop, and if I do see a Gurkha, I'll see a $23, $22 price cigar for Gurkha. I'm like, I'm definitely not grabbing that.
Right.
You know, so they definitely don't want to pull a Gurkha, but then don't want to pull Alec Bradley either. Trying to find that fine line, but at the same time do something that's very unique to the cigar world.
Yeah. You know, Gurkha really does lean heavy on that small fan base they have that loves it. They really put pressure on them people. But look, shout out to Gurkha, man, because they doing one thing that most people have a hard time doing, and they have everybody within the community that feels passionately about them, whether it's love or hate. Is no in between with Gurkha, and that's
No in between.
You don't want no in between with anything that you do in life, because results come from
the funny thing,
passion.
Yeah, the funny thing, you say that there's no in between, because even with us, we try to be very, very impartial to Gurkha. Gave him a shot, gave him a whole episode, a whole block, and we really wanted to see what the hate was about. At the end of it, like, just knowing the I could tell, even with you, I know how I felt, but then I could tell it was written on your face, man. Just seeing the reaction from the smoke, it's like, man, this is not it. It's not it. And we really want to give them a fair shake. And that really goes to say, hey, either you love them or you hate them. And we try to be impartial in that middle. We realize you can't be.
You can't be. Yeah, man. And the funny thing about it is, a cigar, as many changes that can occur within a cigar, that opening initial first time when you first hit a cigar, that lets you know, it sets the tone regardless. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the fact that I know this is going to change, it lets you know what to expect, man. And most of the time, I think from the beginning, if you're going to enjoy a cigar. Like, I've never not been enjoying a cigar and then got to the end. It was like, you know what? I enjoy that cigar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we have had situations, I know I have, to where the cigar might not have started out great, but then towards the end, you're like, oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, you can go, it's not too bad.
Even with that, is the fact that you can have so many changes in a cigar, up to like sometimes 4 or 5 changes in a cigar, and you have one of those 5 times at least catch me to say, this is why I'm going to go pick the cigar, because I like that moment in the cigar.
Yeah.
At some point in the second, third, a cigar can get good. Like, you know what? Not too bad. Not too bad. But for a cigar to go through all the changes, all the complexities and never catch me once, that says a lot.
It says a lot. If you stay at all right, if my final assessment of you is all right after I go through this whole entire ride, you didn't do you that one's not the one. You know what I'm saying? Like in
Right.
reality, as much as diverse as people are, and we all have our own viewpoints of different tastes and things that we appreciate, and one cigar actually should have something for everybody within it at some point in time.
Absolutely.
If you look at it from that point of view. So if you can't provide me with at least one thing throughout that journey,
you dropped the ball.
You dropped the ball. It don't look good for you. Like
you know, you don't have to do everything right, but you gotta hit one. At least get me one.
Yeah.
Give me one. You know, just to give me a reason to look back at the cigar and say, you know, I wouldn't mind smoking a cigar in a particular moment. So just back to your original point with CAO and the new cigars. Shout out to them. Kudos to them for taking a chance, taking a risk, trying to expand their brand by any means necessary. Sound like to me.
Right.
You know, like I said, I've heard of fire cured cigars, but I've never heard of lava cured cigars.
They're going straight to the volcanoes, man. We taking it to the we're taking it somewhere else to get it to be different and stand out. So I respect it. But while we shouting them out, let's not stop there, man. CAO ain't playing with us, man. CAO turns to the Brazilian rainforest for Amazon basin. Guess what? CAO is also, not only are they going to the volcanoes, but they going to the Amazon. And they got a 6-month fermentation process that they'll be doing. Okay, it says the tobacco will be loaded into a canoe and paddled out of the jungle on the Amazon River, eventually completing its journey in the heart of the darkness in a factory in Nicaragua. Man,
wow.
They're gonna be this one right here.
Man, the Indiana Jones of cigars, right here.
It's CAO. They're gonna plant it in the soil of out in the Amazon, out towards the Amazon River, man. Basically is what they're gonna be doing, man, in the middle of a Brazilian rainforest. And they're gonna try doing the whole fermentation process out there. And then they're gonna take it on, ship it up down the Amazon River back to Nicaragua, where they're gonna complete the process.
Man, only thing left for them to do is put it in the metaverse and let it ferment there too. Man, they all over the map with it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now
that is go ahead.
They're gonna be having 6,000 boxes of this at a price point of $12.99. And this cigar is called the CAO Amazon Basin. So if you want to try some Brazilian tobacco, which is where it's gonna be grown in Brazil. You can pick this one up when this one is released. And does it have a release date at this point in time? This is a limited edition one. I think it's already been released. So check that one out if you see that. Yeah, it shipped last week. I'm sorry, it shipped last week. Yeah. So this one is now out.
We're definitely gonna have to keep our ears to the streets and keep our eyes open to try to find one of these cigars and give them a shot. Definitely interested in smoking these cigars. So I'm gonna be on the lookout.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to find me one of these. Well, I will say this: what has your experience, if you've had one, with Brazilian cigars? Have you had any experiences with Brazilian cigars?
Not that I'm aware of. If I was smoking one, I wasn't aware of it. But I want some jungle tobacco now that I know it's a thing. I didn't know.
Some jungle tobacco. Well, I'll let you know this. I've had one experience with a Brazilian cigar.
Mm-hmm.
You see them in the humidors from time to time. They got the Brazilian flag on it. Beautiful looking cigars, most of them. And I picked one up. This is years ago, and you've never heard me smoke another one before, right?
Right. That was it.
I'm gonna tell you, that was it. The strongest tobacco I have ever had. I don't know if you had any instances or any moments of cigar smoking that you felt like, hey, I know this is out of my league. That was my experience.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, that was my experience.
We can't say that's across the board, man. Maybe it is, but you got to go back for another one, man.
Maybe so. But for that particular cigar, I was standing up when I lit it, toasted it, took my first puff. I was sitting down.
Sitting
I
down,
couldn't
huh?
handle it. I couldn't handle it. It set me down. That Brazilian tobacco set me down.
It
And
was
we've
the
been smoking cigars
espresso
for
of
years.
tobacco.
It was that. It punched me. It gave me a nice uppercut to the gut. You know, it it definitely was that. So not to say I'm hesitant to ever pick up Brazilian tobacco again, but I would say whichever one, and maybe because of my novelty at that point of being brand new to the culture, maybe I didn't know what I grabbed. Maybe I just saw the cigar, thought it was interesting, and said, "Hey, let me give it a shot." And not knowing what I picked up, but it was a strong smoke, and I said never again. I probably took maybe 3 puffs, maybe 4 puffs at the most. So the cigar had to put it out. I'm like, I can't smoke this. And I've never since then ever met a cigar that I couldn't at least finish the second, third. I couldn't even make it through about 4 puffs.
I wonder how much of that was because you were a novice. I wonder if you went back to that same cigar, would you have that same point of view?
I wonder.
You probably
So
could handle it. It
you know
probably would
what?
still be strong, but you probably could handle it.
Could handle it. And that's something I'm curious about now too. Just thinking about that. Because where we kind of we kind of settle with our cigars. We're comfortable with what we like and what we know what we like. We don't mind a flavor cigar. We don't mind a medium to light body, uh, medium to full maybe, but light pepper. We know what we like. We know what our palate um prefers.
Right.
But I'm wondering now if I go back to those stronger cigars, where would I stand on that meter with strong cigars? Could I handle it a lot better than I did with that Brazilian cigar? You know, would I even like it? And same thing with you mentioned, like you said, the espresso of cigars. Like I was never really a coffee drinker. You kind of introduced that to me a little bit. Like, you open my eyes to give it a shot. Never really liked coffee much. But I wouldn't mind picking up a black coffee, a cold brew or whatever, and drinking it. I can tolerate it now more so than I could before, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I wonder if there's a shift.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
would think like anything else, there's a tolerance that has to be built for it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some things the taste will be more acquired, and other things you can just deal with. And I think you probably
Mhm.
didn't have the tolerance for it at the time. Now, it doesn't mean
Not at
that you
all.
would have preferred it. Even today, you still might not
Today,
prefer it.
right?
But could you deal with it? You probably could deal with it, instead of it being a four punch knockout. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't have got TKO'd.
Yeah, I was done. First round. first round. And it's funny you said that because that's one of the questions I kind of want to bring to you in a little bit later in this episode. But we'll get there.
Okay.
But now I'm interested, and maybe one of these episodes will feature me smoking one of those stronger cigars, one of those full body punch you on the back of your throat, gut punches, and
Yeah.
see what we can do. I'm gonna try it. Y'all got my word right here on the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. I'm gonna pull one out. I'm gonna give it a shot.
I
Might be a
won't.
Brazilian.
It's got to be a Brazilian, and I'm gonna start
Gotta be a
searching.
Brazilian.
Yeah, and you said that the flag was on it, right? It was on the
The flag
band.
was on it. Yep.
I guarantee if we look through, it's probably the calling card of one specific brand. So we probably can figure out who it is if we do enough research. I want to try it with you if I can find it. So I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
look into that. Yeah, you might as well.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Gotta hold you to it.
Yeah, we got the Brazilian episode coming, man. As soon as we find it, we're in our areas, man.
Hey man, can we do the episode in Brazil?
Man, let me ask my wife.
That's gonna be a big no. That's a no.
Well, not unless she get to come. That's usually how it is. She don't want to. I don't get to travel nowhere until we did it together at least once, man. She's a hater.
Facts. That's only fair. That's only fair.
Hey man, there's a company you referenced twice in the news segment today so far, man. As we were giving CAL praise, you managed to slide a little comment in there about Alec. So I figured I'd bring Alec up, man.
Okay.
Where's Alec? We have found
Where is
Alec.
Alec?
Alec is in the
Okay.
news.
What is going on? Let's talk about it.
Alec Bradley is going to be releasing his new line called Fine and Rare. But there's a delay.
Man.
There's a delay in shipping.
Come on, Alec Bradley.
Alec, more setbacks. Supposed came out in November, got set back, didn't come out. Right now, it's been pushed back to April. So Alec Bradley is trying. They're trying to come back into the world,
They're
man.
trying.
Of cigars.
And you know what? And as we go in and we talk about Alec, this is no dig to Alec. You know, we've taken shots at Gurkha.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken shots at certain other cigar, but we're not taking shots at Alec.
It's in love with Alec. It's out of love with him.
You know, and we were at a cigar shop not too long ago over the Christmas holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran into one of the guys at the cigar shops and we talked to him and we asked him about how he thought about Alec Bradley and same sentiment, you know, and he understood where Alec Bradley was. And there was still some fondness even from that gentleman that we talked to, like, hey man, Alec, we just want you to get on the ball.
Right.
So it's no dig at Alec when we talk about Alec, but it's like, man, you're letting us down, Alec. Like, we really want to champion that cigar brand because, like, when we came in, like we said, that was one of those ones that we always look to as like that top tier brand.
Right.
And I hold a little bit of fondness towards Alec Bradley cigars.
Yeah,
you know,
I was proud when I bought my first few Alec Bradleys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's honestly,
Yeah.
It's tough love with Alec. With Gurkha, it's something different.
Tough
But with Alec, it's tough love, man. It's kind of like when you got your close friend and you're trying to inspire and motivate him to be better. So you kind of take little jabs at him, but it's because you really want to see him win. It's that, you know, it's like, hey man,
we want to see Alec win.
It's like, why, man? Hey, man, what you doing, man, with them shoes, man? Why your hands ashy, man? Put some lotion on. You want to see them look good, like, you know what I'm saying? But
right. Yeah.
It's, you know, some of y'all will get it, man. It's just, you know.
Yeah, big time facts, man. Right. Definitely, we'll let you know who those brands that are that we do not like personally. Brickhouse, Gurkha. Not putting Alec there. Not putting Alec there. I'm still holding Alec to that standard where, for me personally, my father, I want him to jump back into that esteem with me. Like, my father has one of the highest esteems in the cigar world for me. Mm-hmm. You know, if I see my father, my eyes are gonna light up. You know, not because they're this super duper brand that's all out there. You know what I'm saying? That like Rocky Patel is doing all the promo and all those good things at these expos and stuff like that, which is admirable. But, you know, my eyes light up when I see my father's brand because I understand the consistency, the variety, the things that they've done consistently throughout the years and just staying on top of things. We want Alec to be there, you know? Right. Definitely do.
We don't have no bad experiences from Alec. Truth be told, I don't have no experience to not like him. I only talk about him because I want to like him.
Right. I've had some cigars that I don't prefer, but then I've had some cigars that I've absolutely loved. Yeah. You know? So it's just like, hey, we want to see Alec win.
Yeah, man. So whatever it is, get it together. Whoever's running the company, I don't know. Y'all got to get back on point though, man. But Alec's supposed to be coming out in April. If I remember in April, I'll let you know if it got pushed back or not. Well, yeah, I'll let you know if it got pushed back or not. And if it get released, then yeah, I would love to grab it if I can find it. But
if you can find it,
if I can find it, but Alec hasn't been doing good in some of these shops because they burning relationships.
Shelf spaces. Yeah, those shelf spaces are shrinking little bit by little. You know.
Yeah. It's self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted. You know, it's a shame though. I hope you get your spot back in the game, Alec. Moving on. The Feds, man, announced that they were going to be raising interest rates, and it's affected everything going on around you, from home refinances to the stock market. And guess what? It's coming to hit your favorite cigar shop. So for those of you, yeah, man. For those of you who love getting your cigars, expect to see some of your favorites going up in prices. Arturo Fuente, you know, we like Arturo, but they announced that Message from the owner. He said, "We have not gone up on most things in years. Sad to be forced into this, but it's totally necessary to take care of our people and the rising costs of all raw materials and packaging." So they have refrained from raising their prices on 99% of their portfolio in an effort to help brick and mortar businesses remain competitive with online retailers. But guess what? Even they're going to have to raise their prices. And it's just going to be prices going up on everything around here, man. So expect it. Expect there to be some hikes in prices of all your favorite cigars, man. I'm sure they all going to have to take a bump. And
You know
once
what?
they
I
bump it
mean,
up, then your cigar shops are going to raise the prices on you also.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, for one, I can't be mad. You understand the nature of business. You understand the nature of the beast. We live in a world full of consistent inflation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we pay the gas prices every day, right?
Right.
That's one of your biggest examples of super inflation. You know, especially when at our age, we remember when gas was less than $1 a
Right.
gallon. You know, and now we're looking at $4+ a gallon in some places. So you understand the nature of the beast. You understand the cause. Got to do it. And if we want to see our cigar shops and cigar companies continue to flourish, it's something that we're gonna have to, be okay with. You know, that is an industry that I'm willing to support, even in inflation. They got to do it. They got to do it. You know, we smoke cigars out of the luxury, and we smoke cigars out of the love for smoking cigars.
Right.
You know, we take inflation on everything else, other necessities. But if we want to continue to see our cigar brands flourish, like Alec Bradley, um, we'd have to take it on the chin, man. Like, hate to see it, but if you really love something, you want to rally behind it, you'll accept them doing what they got to do out of business. It's like, okay, yeah, here we go. Not always comfortable, but this is something we do out of love and out of the luxury of being able to do it. So we got to sit up and we have to support these brands,
Right.
do what
Right.
needs to be done, support these cigar shops, and do what has to be done, even in areas of inflation. You know, something that we're going to see across the board.
Right.
Tobacco culture is no exemptions, no exemption to it.
That's true. It's true. I got a couple examples for you also, man. Speaking of Arturo Fuente, some of his ones, the Grand Reserva, the Hemingway,
Love it.
they're up 5%. It's gonna be the Opus X, the Opus 10. That's gonna be up 8%. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was never a real big fan of the Opus. I smoked a few of them, but I want to try a little bit more, a few more.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Scandinavian Tobacco Group, who is going to be like the parent company, who has in their portfolio, they got CAO, they got Cohiba, they got Punch, they got Hoya de Monterey. They're going to be increasing their prices on average about 5% across the entire portfolio. Ashton is going to be raising their prices
Ashton,
6% on most of their lines. And that will end up being approximately 75 to 80 cents per cigar. And some 7% of them will go up by about $1.50 per cigar. Rocky Patel, Rocky Patel fans, they say you got a little more time to stock up, because as of February 1st, which is right around the corner, by the time y'all hear this episode, it'll already be there.
It'll probably be,
Yeah. Rocky Patel and Oliva, they'll be raising their prices about 5% on each of their cigar lines. And La Flor Dominicana, they won't be going up until the 15th of February, and they'll have a 5% price increase. Guess who else is going to be raising their prices?
Don't tell me Gurkha.
Nah, man.
Okay.
Alec Bradley is going to be increasing their portfolio 7% across the portfolio. They'll be raising their
7%.
average price 7%, and you ain't putting
Even
nothing
higher
out.
than the rest.
Yeah.
Wow.
So why are you so affected? Why is production so affected, but you're not releasing nothing to the point that you need to raise your prices 7% compared to everybody else?
I guess to
Because they don't have sales. That's why. It's because you don't have the sales to
revenue.
make up for it. Exactly. If you would, this is self-inflicted, Alec. God knows, man. But okay, we'll move on from that. That's frustrating to see you raise your prices, Alec. And it's all because you don't put no product out for us to purchase. If you'd have stayed consistent, you wouldn't have to raise it 7%. You can raise it 5%,
you can do it
like the
5%.
rest of everybody else.
Like
Stay in the
Rocky.
game. So anyway, EP Carrillo gonna be raising theirs also, man. And our homies at Drew Estate, we love them. No price increases. Shout out to Drew Estate. That's what I got right there.
Sound like you a big Drew Estate fan these days, man.
I like Drew Estate, man. Don't try to make no slick remarks at me, man. Come on.
No, I'm just wondering.
I like Drew Estate.
Because, like, okay. So the remark came from this. Like, so if I ask you what my favorite brand is right now, you could tell me, right?
Yeah.
I think I made that. I think I've spoken on it enough. But we don't know what your favorite brand is. We don't know who your, eye glimmering brand, like who lights your eyes the most.
The most, man. That is a great question.
And today, not who you've loved throughout the period, because we've talked about that, how they've shifted. Man, this one used to be my favorite. The novelty of nostalgia, but who today?
Yeah,
who today?
I'm taking the nostalgia out of it. And that's why I say it's tough, because I don't have nobody really in the forefront today. It's like it's a close race, but I can't give the nod to nobody. But right off the top of my head, I would go with, like, you. I still like my fathers, like you do. I always go to their section and check them out. I like Arturo. Excuse me. I do like I like Drew Estate and what they do also. But even though I tend to go to, I don't always look in their area. You know what I'm saying? But really, in most recent memory, they probably give me the ones I've been enjoying the most, because I've been enjoying Betty and the other girl. What's the other girl name?
Sweet Jane.
Jane and Betty. They've been Fat Bottom Betty and Sweet Jane have been good. Those are the cigars that stand out to me the most in recent memory. But I don't know, man. And that's unfortunate you put that on me, man, because now I feel bad that I don't have nothing I love. But I don't know if that's a reflection of me or just a reflection of what I've been purchasing.
Wow. I mean, that is pretty good that you said that. Is it you or what you've been purchasing? I mean, like, you've smoked some really good cigars. So I can't say that maybe you just had too many good cigars that it's hard to really place it on to say, who do I really love?
Well, you're talking in terms of brand. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're talking in terms of brand. So for the sake of the show, we've been kind of varying the brands. But Drew Estate is probably the brand I've done the most, because we had a couple flavor episodes in there. Mm-hmm. Now, but in terms of brands, it's hard for me to just be like, well, Cohiba. Cohiba goes without saying. But I had a really good Cohiba experience with the blue recently.
Right.
Then I've also had what else was one I had recently that I liked? I had my Romeo y Julieta. I enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? But
well, you know what?
Can I say the brand? Because I haven't had enough of them recently to really say the brand, just because I enjoyed a specific part of the line.
So what I'm liking this to is knowing you, and when it comes to sports, it could be that team type of person. Yeah. You like the individual player, and you'll follow the individual player. And then there are people like that who say they're a LeBron fan. No matter what team LeBron goes to, they're gonna root for where LeBron is. Or they're Westbrook fans, so wherever Westbrook goes, they're gonna root for Westbrook or Durant or whoever. And then you have those certain people who are team people. So no matter who comes in or out, I'm sticking with my team. I have my primary team, I got my secondary team, and teams I really, really like. then there's teams I really, really hate. So maybe that could be it. Maybe that could be it.
I think you perfectly psychoanalyzed me. I think that's exactly what it is. I didn't realize it, but I think that's what it is. I don't commit to teams, man. I commit to individuals more so than the actual
than teams.
Yeah, like I'm not a big franchise
organizations
organization guy.
franchise or particular brand.
Yeah,
you're gonna go where a good cigar is, not necessarily what the brand.
Yeah, and I'm like that in general, man. You know, like
okay,
cars. Yeah, I'm not even loyal to a car like that, man. To be honest with you, you know,
and that's interesting because with me, you know me, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to cars. I'm a
loyal
Mercedes
to technology.
Guy.
You know, loyal to all
loyal
that.
to technology, loyal to teams, and I guess when it comes down to cigar brands, I look to hang my hat on a particular brand, and that's what I've been. I guess that's what I've been doing. Okay, okay.
I think it's definitely a personality trait between us. That's what we differ. You go with the group, and I go with the individual in most cases, man. And I'm following that trend with my cigars. Is what it comes down to.
And you know that's interesting. Like I was looking at cars because I'm looking to purchase a new car, right? And I tried to take myself out of just looking at Mercedes only, right? Between Mercedes and Maserati, those are the only two cars like I've been considering for like the last 10 years. And I really don't want anything else. And I try to look at other brands, and I just, when I see them, I don't even see cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a car unless it has this emblem. And maybe that's a poison of mine. And even in trying to get my daughter a car, because I thought about, okay, let me get my daughter a car. Maybe I'll hold on to it until I'm ready to go get the car that I want, because I'm holding on to a particular car that I want. And even in that, I'm trying to be open with the vehicle I get, because I know that she'll be happy with whatever first car she gets. You know, and even that's been hard to say. I'm going to look for another brand car other than the brand I'm married to.
Right.
You know, and it's interesting to think about that as far as being married to a particular thing.
Yeah, and you hear me talk about
I can't take myself outside of it.
You hear me talk about Maseratis with you, but I'm not married to Maserati as much as I like Quattraport. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I like the SUV also. But if you throw other ones at me, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I'm not married to it. Like,
if it's nice, it's nice. But it's like, no, I can't get this. I can't get that. I gotta be stuck with this. I gotta be stuck with that.
I'm not.
And maybe that's a poison of mine.
When I think cars, I'm like, all right, what's on the market? Who got something good? And I'm like,
yeah.
And that's how I go. I don't think, all right, what does Mercedes have, or what does this brand have, or what's the new Audi? It's just like, all right, what's out there?
That's me.
Yeah, I'm like, what's out there? Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain brands that when you have good experiences with brands, you say, all right, let me go back to this brand and see if they got anything else I can have a good experience. I do that, like, you know, but even like with shoes or something. Say if I get some good Nikes, I'm like, all right, man, these are some good Nikes, man. Let me see what else Nike got. And if I scan through and ain't no good Nikes out, I on to the Adidas website or on to the Adidas store. Like, I'm not going to sit back and wait for them to drop their new stuff.
You know what's amazing? And that's amazing that you said that too, because I didn't even think about shoes. But when it comes to shoes, and I'm a huge runner, I'm married to shoe brands.
You wait on your favorite brand new release, even if they don't have nothing out. You wait on the new releases.
And but it has come with trying other shoe brands. I've tried to run in Adidas, can't do it. I've tried to run in Nikes, and by running I mean I do all types of running, whether it's sprinting, I do a lot of long distance. I'm talking, you know, half marathons, 5 to 6 miles a day, every other day rather. I've tried all the brands, and I've got Hoka, and I got Asics. And those are only two running shoes I will buy. It's either Hoka or Asics. Nothing else in between. I've made up my mind. And it's interesting that you say that, and I never even thought about, man, I do that with everything. With teams, with cars, now with shoes. I'm doing it with shoes now. And even, matter of fact, check this out, even with the keyboard, I just bought a new keyboard.
Yeah.
and I had to get a Yamaha
Yeah. Push
because
Yamaha
I
on
got
me.
Yamaha going. I push Yamaha on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to get Yamaha. We use Ableton, right? I
Yeah.
would never use another program other than Ableton. But it has not come without using Fruity Loops. I've used Cakewalk. I've used, I've tried Reasons. I've tried, you know what I'm saying? So, but once I get in something and I find something I really like and I enjoy, I stay with it.
Well, until
I'll
it
be
gets too
Ableton guy to the
popular.
day
Until it gets
until
too
it gets too
popular.
popular.
Yeah, because that's the other half
Too
of
many
you.
people got it.
Yeah, that's the other
That's
side
true.
of you.
That's true.
You don't want to be in the in crowd either though. So if Ableton ever became as big as Fruity Loops, you'll be back on Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
Like, you'll be back on
And
it
you
again.
know what? That might be why I left Fruity Loops. Now thinking about
I'm
that, like I didn't even
positive
thought
it
about it
is.
because I left Fruity Loops for hardware and the go exclusively hardware with the MPC and stuff like that. But then when I started looking at going back to programs because I was saying technology is just going so fast. Fruity Loops was one of the first things that came to mind, but because I used Fruity Loops before, but I was like, everybody's using Fruity Loops. What else is out there? And then that's when I came up on Ableton. Ableton, all right. And I started using it. Man, this program's great. Never going back to Fruity Loops.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's the reason why I looked away from Fruity Loops in the beginning when I went back to software. Because Fruity Loops was just so popular that everybody was coming up off of Fruity Loops. I'm like, and knowing me, you know me, I came up on Fruity Loops. Fruity
You
Loops
did.
was my program.
You started on Fruity Loops before Fruity Loops was popular. It's FL Studio. You actually had Fruity Loops, and you
Loops
should have
2.
actually come in proud. Yeah, Fruity Loops 2 is what you had. That's how long you've been in the game, right? And when everybody started coming up on Fruity Loops, what did you do? You went out and bought hardware and bought an MPC. You got totally off software.
Totally off software.
And when you came back to software, you went to one that is good, respected, but not totally beloved by everybody.
Yeah, not the most popular. Yeah.
And that's where you lie at. You're one of those type of person. You lie in that little zone where it's not too popular. Your favorite sports teams, Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, and even when the Pistons even when they won a championship, you was able to stand by them because nobody liked them. So you was by yourself. Like, and you good in those places. You stuck with BlackBerry to the end, all the way to their demise. Like, you find your loyalty in your brands that are just popular enough where you're not obscure, but not popular enough where you in on the in crowd. I'm sure that a lot of people like you.
I would never have an iPhone. I would never have an iPhone.
You reluctantly went to Samsung.
I did, but I had to go with the next best thing. What else is good?
Yeah,
but at the same time, not like
number one popularity.
Yeah,
but you know what? Yeah. Phones is different because I'm loyal to Samsung also, but I've tried like you mess your phone up and then they give you like a phone to borrow while they fix your phone, like at the company. Yeah. I've borrowed other phones and I had the thought process. Man, technology's so good today that they probably all on the same level. I can downgrade and get me a different phone. And then you try one of those other phones and you say, this does not run the same as my other phone.
I can't do this.
Phones, you got to find your brand in the phones and stick with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because technology ain't quite there yet.
So check this out. I don't know if you know this, but even with my Samsung phones, you know what the first thing I do when I get my Samsung phone?
I hope you don't change it to like some kind of software. There's
BlackBerry. I changed my keyboard to a BlackBerry keyboard.
You stink.
In 2022, my Samsung Galaxy Note has a BlackBerry keyboard.
You stink. And you know, this is what else is up with you, man. Now that we on the subject of you, the show is becoming Denzel. Even your stocks and your crypto, even your investments aren't normal. Like, what is that? What is that crypto you Sia? Like you find stuff
Sia
like
coin.
Sia coin. Everybody else is buying like other you Sia coin, like
Shiba Inu. Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, and I went super heavy on Sia coin. When I tell you I got so much Sia coin, it's ridiculous, man.
Loyal to the brand, and it's not popular, man. But that's what you. That's
Not
you,
popular.
man.
Nobody's talking about it. But you remember Dogecoin? When I tried to show you Dogecoin, it wasn't popular. Nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
But it went huge. Now it's come down along with all the other crypto and stock, but it made a lot of people some money. Those who did buy in, it made me a good little bit of money. I didn't cash in on it though, but it made me a good bit of money.
Hey, look,
So
man. This is the hilarious thing, though. This is where where like your two sides of you, it became compromised because when Doge blew up, you were in a position where now you were on the in crowd, like, and you had to commit to it. You couldn't sell because you needed to make the money, so you were stuck being on the in crowd during that time, man. As Doge
I
just
couldn't leave. I couldn't leave it.
it was
I couldn't
rocking. I
leave
know
it.
everything within you wanted to sell and get out of it once it got popular, but
Oh man, like when I first bought it, and the thing is, when you look at investments, you always go do your research, right? So I'm doing the research. I'm not seeing any videos on Doge. I'm not seeing any um articles or anything. Nothing being talked about. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna just keep investing. Keep investing. I don't know what. Put a little bit here. Granted, I didn't put a lot of money into it. Made a good little bit off of it, but I didn't put a lot of money because it was so cheap.
right.
But now today, a year ago, 6 months ago, you type in Doge and everything floods. You'll find so many videos, so many articles everywhere. It's on the news. It's on Fox News. It's on CNBC. It's on the news channels. It's everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I was so heavily invested in. It's like I got to ride with it. I want to make the money off of it. But
Right.
yeah, did I have that idea of, man, I need to separate myself because it's getting too popular? Yeah, I did. I definitely did.
I'm
Definitely
sure.
fought with that.
I'm
Definitely
sure.
fought with that.
You were compromised, man. You were put in a tough position, man. all your instincts couldn't come out. But
abort mission.
right. But yeah, man, I'm that's interesting, man. I guess there are two types of people, man, and I'm one of those people, man. I never attach myself to brands, man. I attach myself to individuals. Like I said, outside of my phone, I've been loyal to the Galaxy brand for almost a
For some
decade
years,
now.
yeah.
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 But it's only because ain't nothing else out there. When I go to the phone store and look for a new phone, I check everything else out. I
That's
just
true.
don't be
Yeah,
interested
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
I just like, stick with this, man. It looked the best to me out of the ones that I mess with. That we have like YouTube channels and people that we check their technology videos out, and they talk about new phones,
Mm-hmm.
man. We love Floss, and Floss always got new phones and stuff. But
Flossie Carter. Yeah,
I
shout out
don't
to
know.
him.
Yeah, shout out to Flossie Carter, man. I don't know where to find them phones he be having. He have all kind of weird brands and stuff like that, man, and gaming phones, and it's just like, all right, and he'll tell you that some of these are better than iPhones and Galaxies, but that's too much. I keep it simple, man.
Yeah. And when it comes to me, like I really do lock in on whatever it is I have my mindset on. Just bought a laptop the other day. HP. Of course, you go to Best Buy, they got all the laptops all over the place. I made up in my mind I wanted this particular HP, and I know what no Dell, Lenovo, whatever, this and that, Asus. I don't even know if they still make laptops.
Yeah, they do.
MacBook, straight to HP. Let me get that HP Envy. That's what I wanted. Nothing else. Nothing else. You can't sell me on anything else. You couldn't sell me on anything else.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of great features this has over this one or this has over that. Once I make my mind up on something, you can't talk me off of it.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. But now if I'm coming into something new, okay, that's your chance to win me. That's your chance to get in where you fit in. And maybe I might become that brand loyalty to that particular thing when it's something new. But once I get in and start figuring out what I want, what I like, I lock in, man. I lock in, and I'm stuck. I don't know why, but that's just it. That's me.
Hey, man, I'm an HP guy too, though, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had nothing but an HP in a long time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, each laptop you had, you keep for a couple years anyway. But
right.
I don't remember the last one I had that wasn't an HP. Now that we talking about it,
and then if you get a new one, you're probably gonna get another HP, right?
Yeah, but at this point, see, and this is the thing, I guess, and this might be why this might actually be the psychology behind why you do what you do. But for me, with technology, once I get familiar with a certain technology and I can navigate through it easily, it's easier to go there. But even when we went laptop hunting, we got a laptop last year. When we went laptop hunting, we looked at everything. We settled on HP, but we looked at everything. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
And overall, for what we wanted,
you felt more at home. You probably felt more at home.
It felt more at home, and it overall, at the price point and the features we needed, it was the best. It was the best buy.
And you know what? Now that we're talking about this, got me going a little bit even deeper into the rabbit hole about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how I grew up. Grew up a military brat, moving around different places. Now I'm in the military, still moving around. And I was talking the other day, like thinking, man, I'm ready to settle into a place and just be still and have a place that I'm attached to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe my brand loyalty, not seeing past anything else than what I'm familiar with. Maybe it's because of how I grew up and how I've been living my life over the last few years of not really having anything that attached to and wanting some familiarity with my things that I have in front of me.
So
To feel
amongst
like I'm
all
at
the
home with
chaos
certain
and
things.
movement, you like to have some stability. So those are your
Right.
foundational pieces for you.
Right.
Through brands and other things.
That might be another piece to it too, another psychological piece to it.
Interesting. I wonder.
Like,
So I wonder if that's
just
a
I
military
never
thing.
explored that. I'll be interested to understand that.
Yeah.
Or not just military, but anybody who has had a background that was just constantly shifting.
Yeah.
Constantly shifting.
Yeah. Some kids are involved in stuff like that too. If they parents do a lot of traveling with work and stuff, and they have to go with them and be homeschooled and stuff. So yeah, I wonder. That's interesting.
Because thinking about it, my college years were between college and the military were my most stable years.
Right.
Even in college. Matter of fact, after college, because college was still a change. Growing up, moving around, graduate high school, then going to college. Okay, new city, new area, new thing, new this, new that.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom.
New dorms, new apartments, new
people. Yeah. So it's almost the same thing, just as a military move. New school, new people, new friends. Figure out who's what, where's what. New surroundings.
Classes every 6 months. New parts of the campus you traveling to.
So I would say not until I was 23 did I finally get something that was consistent for at least 6 to 7 years.
Right.
And then 2013, boom, I up and joined the military. And now back into that cycle of new place, new people, new job, new this, new that, every so often. And it's like, man, things consistently change. But at least I have my things that are consistent.
Right.
And you feel at home with those. So maybe, I don't know. That's just a thought. It just popped in my head just as we were talking about this particular topic.
I mean, somebody who related to your point of view, you may have just fixed it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like gave them the answer to their own curiosity of why they are the way they are, man. Because I'm sure if somebody that's listening relates to where you come from. There's gonna be some that relate to me and some that relate to your point of view. And those that relate to your point of view very well could have similar backgrounds or similar circumstances where there's a lot of movement in their lives. The mind is strong, man. The mind does a lot of things to fix itself. You know what I'm saying? Like
self-correcting, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Why I'm doing this, why I'm doing that, why I'm thinking this, why I'm thinking that, because it might be this tug of war that constantly goes on that you're not even conscious to a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But then once you become tapped into it, it just makes you even better once you tap in and understand why you do what you do, why you think what you think, why you act how you act. And that's that even mean to go here, but it just took me there. Just off this simple conversation, rabbit hole happens, boom, we're here.
Yeah, I mean, but think about it. Your body's always trying to heal itself. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
true.
If the mind feels like, all right, this is so much movement, I need something to keep me level, it'll find ways to correct things. And all right, we need this stability here. We're not going to be able to get it. So how can we heal this issue? And then, all right, we're going to find stability in these other things that are in our surroundings and take those stability, those stable things with us where we go. So, man, it's like we're made perfectly, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, man, we're made perfect, man. The body, you scratch it, the body's going to heal. You break a bone, it's going to come back stronger. You go work out and a muscle is, going to come back stronger. And it's always just trying to figure out how to fix stuff in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stop it.
That's crazy.
That's a great point you've made, man.
Man, I might have had a breakthrough for somebody somewhere. Who knows? Might have had a breakthrough for myself.
Yeah, man. Never know. Hey, man. But on that note, man, did you have any closing words for us?
Oh, man, I'm just ready to get back to smoking a cigar. No closing words. It's just interesting to see how the industry is gonna go. And I want to try that Brazilian tobacco, man, and see if we can handle it now. That's pretty much it. Let's get back to smoking cigar, man.
I want some Brazilian tobacco. I want some jungle tobacco, man. I need that volcano tobacco.
Volcano.
Lava smoke, baby. Yeah, man.
Lava smoke.
We got a lot to do in the future, man. So, man, we got to get us a P.O. box and find somewhere for people to send us cigars, man, so we can get some of these. If we don't have them in our area, like,
let's get it so we can talk about it.
Yeah. So for those who made it this far into the show also, man, we do have a option where you can leave us messages on Anchor if you happen to be logged into Anchor and that's where you listen to us at. So be sure to do that. And it should be set up where you can do it on Spotify also. So if you're on Spotify, leave us some voice messages of things you want us to discuss on the show, and we'll be sure to do that also.
Big time.
All right, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and close out. I would say cigars up, but this time it's just peace, man. We out.
Yes, sir. All right, till next time.
Yeah.